Back to the top of the news bulletin, we're going to talk about Liz Truss. We're going to do it with Dipty in the papers. And we have, if you were watching a couple of hours ago, a new look to Diptyque Laurent today, or a new look to her press review anyway. Dipty, give us more.
That's right. You can see we've got this fancy screen behind us. We'll be bringing you those the front pages of the British press. Let's start with that. Obviously, Stuart, they're dedicated to Liz Truss. Liz Truss in her first address as British Prime Minister. She's dominating all the front pages, and she is really also dominating one phrase is really dominating the pages there, as you see here. Together we can ride out the storm. It's on the Daily Express. It's also on the front of the Times magazine, the Daily Telegraph, the Daily Mail. So really it is the phrase of the British front pages today. There is one paper, though, that is not focusing on her speech. This is from the Daily Mirror, the left-wing paper. Liz Truss, now fix the Britain that you lot broke. That's what the Daily Mirror says on its front page. And it notes that rather accusingly that 3 other Conservative leaders before her, as well as Liz Truss, enter 10 Downing Street full of promises. And on that note, the cartoonists also wonder just how much she will deliver. This is from Patrick Blower. He's the cartoonist for the Daily Telegraph. You see that Liz Truss and her government are heavy on attack lines, but they're pretty empty, for the moment at least, on policy ideas. So it remains to be seen just how efficiently she will govern. And we can show you this cartoon from Guy Venables, who's focusing more on what's left for Boris Johnson. It's a cartoon of a cartoon, if you like, with Boris Johnson. No doubt the cartoonists will be missing Boris Johnson. He's provided them with a lot of fodder in these past years. Stuart.
Let's move on to another controversy. This one is here in France this time. It involves Paris Saint-Germain. It just keeps on continuing, this one, doesn't it, Dipty?
Well, that's right. It actually dates back to the weekend. In a recent press conference, Paris Saint-Germain's Kylian Mbappé and the coach, Christophe Galtier, were asked why the team were travelling by private jet for a game in Nantes, which is just a few hours from Paris, when they could have easily taken the train there. Their pretty derisive reaction shocked France, especially because this is such an important issue, environmental, global warming and the carbon footprint of professional athletes. It's on the front of Libé today, which is sort of taking a mocking view of PSG's reaction. Now, in its editorial, Libé's editor actually really takes aim at PSG, saying that they sort of missed a really golden opportunity to set an example, not just for themselves, but for other clubs and in the sporting world as well. In fact, there is one Spanish club that is rather quietly been setting its example for environmentally friendly travel. This is Betis Séville, that Libération calls the champion of ecology. The club actually signed a contract with Renfe, Spain's train provider, to travel by train for all their games. They also illuminate their home stadium with solar panels, for example, and all their players wear jerseys with recycled polyester. So it's proof, Stuart, that when you do have a willingness, you can improve your carbon footprint.
And Kylian Mbappé is actually the focus, isn't he, of a profile piece that you found, Dipty, in New York Times today.
Yeah, it's a rare interview that, well, at least according to the New York Times, he's accorded them a rare interview. He's coming for it all. He discusses chasing that elusive Champions League title with Paris Saint-Germain, supplanting his teammate Lionel Messi as the player of the year, and of course those rumors about whether he'll move to Real Madrid. In this interview, the New York Times also looks at his rise from Bondy, a suburb just outside of Paris, to football superstardom. It's a gorgeous article full of gorgeous pictures and even audio excerpts that you can have a look at.
Finally from Dipty, last story. This is about an escaped chimpanzee in Ukraine.
That's right. It's, I guess not words that you hear every day. It's a beautiful story, really bringing a little bit of respite, to what's been a very tragic situation, the war in Ukraine. This chimpanzee left or escaped from her Kharkiv enclosure, and she was found roaming the streets of Kharkiv. And there's a really beautiful video. Let's see if we can bring it up for you of her keeper. You'll see here she is on the street of Kharkiv, just wandering casually
Aw.
amid the war going on. And then there's a moment when she finally finds her keeper because it starts raining. Here we are. So her keeper joins her on the street for a moment of solace. She puts a little raincoat on her. Here we are, because it's raining. And then the best of all, Stuart, they managed to get her. Let's see if we can bring it up. They take her back on a bike back to her enclosure. So images that brought a little bit of delight to what's been a very tragic situation there.
That's so sweet. Yeah, it's good to have those poignant moments. Dipti, thank you very much, Dipti Karon, with a new look to the press review from today here on France 24. Thanks.